What's up guys, it's Will back again, and today's review is Prisoners. Prisoners is the 2013 mystery thriller film that was directed by Denis Villeneuve and was first requested to me by Nebx5 on my History of Violence review that I released back on the 12th of February. Prisoners follows an ensemble cast of characters, primarily two families that are dealing with the most unexpected and most unfortunate of circumstances. One daughter from each of the two families goes mysteriously missing on Thanksgiving, and the only lead the family members have is an RV that was spotted nearby the last time the girls were seen. Detective Loki, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, begins investigating and eventually locates the owner of the RV, a man named Alex Jones, who the families believe is the abductor of the two missing girls. After some serious investigation and a lack of evidence, Alex is released, but Hugh Jackman's character, the father of one of the missing girls, does not accept this outcome and begins to take matters into his own hands. And the rest of the film is spent watching Detective Loki attempt to solve the crime and bring the two girls home, but we also watch the distraught families deal with the matter in their own ways. Okay, so this was definitely another request that I was looking forward to. I'm a huge fan of Denis Villeneuve, and he just may be my favorite director right now because I had seen 3 of his films before Prisoners, and I loved every single one of them, and we might as well go ahead and say 4 now because I loved Prisoners too. Prisoners was always a movie that I wanted to go back and watch, and certainly a movie that I wanted to go back and review because I knew there would be a lot of interesting themes to discuss because Denis Villeneuve is a director that seems to pride himself on making thought-provoking and complex movies. And Prisoners is certainly a thought-provoking and complex movie because it takes normal characters living normal lives and puts them in a situation where they're forced to show you their true colors. In this type of situation where these two families each lost one of their daughters and the legal system is not providing them the answers they seek, they're at a crossroads. Let the legal system do its job and let the chips fall where they may, or take matters into your own hands and find your daughter by any means necessary. This is definitely one of those films where there's not always a clear good guy and a clear bad guy. The fine line between good and bad morality becomes pretty blurred as the film progresses because the main characters are pushed to their breaking point and forced to make tough decisions in tough situations. It sort of reminded me of The Last of Us in that way because both stories really touch on just how far people will go to protect their loved ones and what lines they'll cross in order to do so. Part of what makes Prisoners so compelling is the dark themes that surround the entire story that sort of blur the lines between right and wrong, and the other big contributor is the absolutely stellar acting performances from the cast. This just might be the best that I've ever seen Hugh Jackman. If anyone had doubts about this man's ability as an actor outside of Wolverine, you should watch Prisoners because he is absolutely fantastic in this movie. His character goes through an incredible transformation over the course of the film, and you really see just how far he's willing to go in order to find his daughter. He is willing to do almost anything to get the answers he needs, and once again, the film positions you to identify and empathize with them, but it also asks you to think for yourself and at the same time consider whether you would compromise your morality to save your loved ones. Jake Gyllenhaal is also fantastic in Prisoners. He plays a detective named Detective Loki, and while the film portrays him as a sort of straight and narrow good guy, you can tell in Jake Gyllenhaal's subtle tendencies that there's more to him than meets the eye. Jake Gyllenhaal is easily one of the best actors in the industry right now, and he proved that once again with his work in Prisoners. I mean, everyone in this cast is really good, but one more actor who really impressed me in this one was Paul Dano. Paul Dano has made a career out of being the sort of nerdy, eccentric guy, but this time he's the super eccentric, super creepy guy. He was awesome in this role, and his character is another one that has additional layers to him beyond what you're seeing on the outside. All of the characters are beautifully layered and complex, which leads to one hell of a story. I also gotta say that from a technical standpoint, Prisoners falls right in line with the rest of Denis Villeneuve's work. The cinematography in this movie is breathtakingly good, and the music by Johan Johansson, who composed Arrival's score as well, is just so great. I totally see why Prisoners was nominated for a Best Cinematography Oscar in 2014 because this movie is shot in such a dark and dramatic way that you can't help but find yourself immersed into this twisted conflict these characters find themselves in. And the music, oh man, it's so eerie and it does such a great job at building suspense and anticipation. This is definitely a thriller film because there's tension and suspense throughout basically the entire thing, and there's a lot of scenes that rely pretty heavily on the music to set the tone for that scene, and it does an excellent job making you feel that tension before the on-screen action does. It sets the stage and it does so beautifully. But overall, Prisoners is definitely a movie that you need to watch if you're a fan of the thriller genre. It's chock full of everything you could possibly want out of a thriller film. I thought it had a dark, tense, and thrilling story, stellar acting from a great cast, beautiful cinematography, and an awesomely eerie score. And honestly, there was nothing I didn't like about this film. I'm gonna give Prisoners Synopsis a 10 out of 10, and definitely recommend you check this one out if you're looking for a well-crafted thriller film with some great acting. This one will not let you down. So did you guys see Prisoners yet? What did you think of it? And if not, let me know why not. And also let me know your favorite thriller film of all time. I have to think about my answer myself because that's honestly a really tough question. That's all for now though. This is WillFoxification signing off. See you in the next review.